Welcome to this week's theme park news summary on the day that theme parks across England begin to reopen. I'm going to give you your weekly roundup of the most interesting theme park news stories. If you'd like to hear more regular theme park news updates along with other videos including vlogs and reviews and informative videos that make all of the things going on in the roller coaster world easier to understand, then please consider subscribing to the channel and leaving a like if you enjoyed today's video. Thanks a lot for your support, and without further ado, let's get straight into it. Since being purchased by Sands Heritage from Thanet Council, which I covered a few weeks back now, Dreamland Margate have been changing the ride lineup at the park for the 2021 season, and unfortunately I don't think many of you are going to like this one. Pinball X, a Zamperla spinning coaster that was part of the 9-ride package of new, fresh out of the factory rides back in 2018, has been removed and is reportedly destined for Flamingo Park, a small seafront amusement park in the seaside town of Hastings. This was the only major roller coaster at the park besides the Scenic Railway, so it's definitely a blow for thrill ride fans who are planning on visiting the park this year. And this goes along with the Air Race, another new ride from 2018 that has been taken down from Dreamland and has either been placed into storage or could, if reports are true, be going to a theme park in France. Dreamland have said that this is down to the pandemic and wanting to help aid social distancing around the park, and that's fair enough, and it will mostly be rides getting placed into storage for now, according to a statement issued by the park. Drayton Manor have announced Adventure Cove, the new upgraded themed area around where the Shockwave roller coaster and Maelstrom rides are, that will include the refurbishment and reopening of the River Rapids ride. Drayton Manor Park says that the new area is set to bring a vibrant maritime theme, offering a bright and coastal feel with barrels, boats and steering wheels aplenty. As I talked about a few weeks ago, the Shockwave station has had a complete repaint, as has the tower on Stormforce 10, and many other improvements to the scenery of the area are clearly being made too. Like the rest of Adventure Cove, the Rapids will have a seaside theme and take riders through a cartoon-style fishing port. The name of the refurbished Rapids ride is yet to be revealed, and Drayton Manor made it clear on the press release that this area will open in stages during 2021. I think it's highly likely that this ride won't be ready to go today, but will probably reopen towards the summertime. Following the article in the European Coaster Clubs magazine and all of the other rumours as well, it seems likely that Drayton Manor could also be adding a wave swinger ride to the area. This wasn't part of the announcement on the 8th of April, so it seems like we'll have to wait a little longer for this ride, if it is being added to the park, and the rumoured Zamperla Disco as well. But things are clearly on the up for Drayton Manor now that the Looping Group have the money to invest into the park, and I think that the next decade at the park will be great for new investments, and it's also good to see that the Bryan family, who owned and did so much with the park over the years, still having an important role there, with William Bryan staying on as the managing director. Great Yarmouth Pleasure Beach have announced that the park is receiving a new waltzer for the 2021 season. The last couple of years haven't exactly gone to plan for the park in terms of new additions. It started in 2019 when they were planning to get a thrill ride called Air Max. They announced it and everything, and in the end it was cancelled, which didn't go down very well with many people. They wanted to fix this in 2020 with a landmark new thrill ride, Lightning 360 from the SBF Visa Group. This was a permanent ride as well, but unfortunately it wasn't open long until it was closed for the rest of the year. A KMG Remix ride was brought in as a temporary fix for this, and then many people took to social media to say that this ride was far better than Lightning 360, and they'd rather this over the ride that they'd just purchased and permanently installed. Commenting on the temporary remix ride called Jetstream Extreme, one Facebook user said, "I'd rather you get rid of the Lightning 360, such a boring ride before it broke." I'd say that 90% of the people that have ridden the two would agree. So following all of this, Lightning 360 has disappeared from the website, so it's not looking good as far as the future of that ride goes. I'm sure that the Pleasure Beach are hoping things are far less eventful with the new waltzer, and that it just opens as a reliable new ride for the amusement park. Blackwater Valley have revealed their 2021 park map, confirming what they announced a few months back, that the Wild River Rapids, Raptor Attack, Apollo and the Black Pearl have been removed, and that the Ultimate will be abandoned throughout 2021. What I noticed instantly is that besides the hot air balloons ride and the relocated Big Dipper going over in the River Rapids area, The rest of the new rides won't be replacing where the removed ones were, but instead in a previously unused part of the park. This might look a bit odd if empty patches of concrete and old wooden queue lines are left dotted around the park, and it's going to look a bit empty at the back of the park where there's no raptor attacking Apollo anymore. The go-kart style ride was closed and left empty a few years ago now, and the Ultimate is up there too, which won't run for this year, so it does make me wonder if they might temporarily rent some rides, like what they've done in the past with the Dodgems last year, or if they'll try and fence off the whole area completely, but that might be a bit hard to do since there's a food stall in the middle of it that I'm guessing they're going to want to use. Along with the hot air balloons, there are 4 other new rides making their way to Lightwater Valley for this year, all of them in the new Go Safari area, which will be located off to the right of where the Angry Birds Park used to be, in an area that just used to be the shopping centre complex, and besides that, not much else really. The theme park has released a picture which shows 3 of the 4 new rides. The Savannah Express has actually got some decent theming around it, and I'm not sure about this at all, but the ride system for this ride looks very similar to, and could actually be the old Wild West train that they had removed a few years ago now, and it could have been placed into storage. So looking towards the back of the picture now, the kangaroo ride looks to me to be from Zamperla, but what I find interesting is that they've gone with a travelling ride model instead of buying a permanent park model. The Flying Elephants ride is the same, but I don't think they would have had much choice with that one, as they're usually only specifically made for fun fairs and amusement parks. A fun fact for you all, Lightwater Valley actually meant to add a Flying Elephants ride quite a few years back now in 2017. They bought the ride, they had it built up at the park, everything, but then due to a load of problems with it, they didn't end up opening it, and yeah, it was removed. So whether or not this is the same ride system as that they've just kind of put into storage and now they've bought the parts for that were needed, or whether or not that ride's now gone completely and this is a completely new ride system, I'm not sure. You can't see the small new drop tower ride in this picture, but it certainly will be interesting to see how this whole new area looks when it does open. There's every chance that there's still more landscaping to come around the other new rides, and hopefully the Go Safari area will be just as good as the Pirate area when it opens. Then picking travelling rides isn't necessarily always a bad thing, as it leaves the options open to move rides around and change the ride lineup a lot easier in the future. Putting the ride removals aside for a minute, it is always a positive thing to see new rides going into any theme park, and by the way things have been left around the park with the former thrill ride sites being left empty, it does leave it quite likely that we'll gradually see more new attractions coming in over the next few years. The days of Mondale Top Scans and other similar extreme thrill rides being at Lightwater Valley are over, but there is every chance that some slightly more tamer rides could be added. For example, a Zamperla Disco could go on the Eagle's Claw site, and an SBF drop tower could fit right in where Apollo was. And to be honest, I'm still really holding out hope that the Ultimate might reopen in the future as well. At first, they weren't really for saying what the situation was with the Ultimate's future, but to say that some people have gotten a bit upset with Lightwater Valley over the ride being abandoned on social media would be an understatement. Following this, Lightwater Valley have released a following statement on their website. Whilst the Ultimate will remain at the park, it will not run for the 2021 season as we limit visitor numbers due to the current restrictions. There could actually be some truth to this, as the Ultimate has 38-seater trains, which unless it's during the summer holidays or on a busy weekend, they normally struggle to fill anyway, so given how often the ride stalls and the capacity restrictions at the park, this could be accurate, and while this statement gives no guarantees about the ride returning, it certainly does leave the door open to that happening, and we could actually see the Ultimate being refurbished to give a smoother and slightly tamer experience. We'll just have to wait and see what happens, but nothing is ruled out at this point. Hopefully we could see the roller coaster that we all love make a return for 2022. I know if it does make a return, I'll be first in line to go and ride it. Alton Towers have finally announced a new Fairground ride that they're installing for 2021 as the Retro Squad. The marketing campaign for these new rides is very clever. It tells a story of these rides being sent to the theme park from the 1980s from planet Retrograde. Since the planet is so far away, it's taken them so long to reach Alton Towers, but they've finally arrived for the 2021 season. I mean, fair play to Alton Towers for a couple of Fairground rides. That is a pretty elaborate story. So what rides were actually announced then? Well, we've got 3 so far. the Funk and Fly, the Mixtape and the Roller Disco. We'll start with the Funk and Fly, which is probably the ride that most of us have known about for the longest, and this is due to leaked pictures of the funfair ride being shared by various people widely across social media. It will be a PWS Super Trooper, a new reimagined version of the Paratrooper ride. There aren't currently very many of them around, and this will certainly be a unique attraction. The only other UK amusement park that has one of these currently is Clarence Pier in Portsmouth, with it being set up there now and a new ride for the 2021 season. The Funk and Fly will be located in the Forbidden Valley section of the park, on the site where Ripsaw used to be. The roller disco will be located in the Dark Forest underneath the Rita launch coaster and will be a classic waltzer ride. Somehow though, I can't imagine that Alton Towers will allow someone to run around the ride while it's running, pushing the cars to get them spinning, so let's hope that they've got a ride that gets a good spin on its own, because there is nothing worse than a waltzer that doesn't spin. The last ride is a Mixtape, a smash and jump ride that is certainly a rare one, so it's interesting that Alton Towers have selected this ride over another more tried and tested funfair attraction. This has probably been done deliberately to add a lot more variety and to try and avoid complaints from people who might say that they've been on funfair rides before at the local carnival and want to go on some more unique rides when they're on a day out at Alton Towers. There is another ride that's being installed at Alton Towers for 2021, and that's a classic twister ride that most of you will have been on or seen before. You'll find one of them at pretty much every funfair in the country, and they're always a very popular ride, so it should fit right into the world of David Williams and should really round out the new themed area. Whatever you think about Alton Towers adding funfair rides, I think that it's pretty uncontroversial to say that they've done a very good job of advertising and hyping up these rides. Not only does this mean that they won't have to make any effort to theme these new rides at all, or to make a soundtrack for them, it also gives them a bit of a storyline and just makes them feel all round a bit less tacky. By the fact that Alton Towers are installing these rides, they've probably decided that removing many of the filler flat rides was a bad idea, and this could lead to the installation of some more permanent flat rides in the future. Well, one can hope at least. Along with the theme park opening until 8 o'clock at night on opening week and weekends up until the 6th of May, the big event schedule that Alton Towers has lined up for the 2021 season should hopefully mean that it's one of the best seasons at the theme park yet. Thanks for watching today's theme park news video. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did and you'd like to see more informative videos about all things roller coasters, then please consider subscribing today and leaving a like. Thanks a lot for your support. I'll see you in the next video coming very soon.